Are aliens real?
Uh, they're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in.
I just saw that I was muted this whole time. So let's start that over. I had a nice rant about how we were told to believe all these things about Epstein. We were told to believe all these things about God damn it. We were told to believe all these things about COVID. We were told to believe and it's to the point where nobody knows what to believe because everything's just fake. Everything's pretend. Nothing's real. And now Obama is saying that aliens are real. He just doesn't know where we keep them, which well that's probably because we don't keep them anywhere. They're just out and about in the world doing their thing. Not like Earth, but like they're out and about in the world, meaning like they exist in their on their home planets. I mean, they're aliens for a reason. So here's Obama, for the second time, telling us that yeah, they're real, and then he tries to like walk it back. Like, well, no, I never saw them, and it was a conspiracy that they hid from the president. Let's try this again. It's been a couple of days since I did one of these, so I immediately forget how to do it.
Are aliens real?
Uh, they're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in. What is it?
Area 51?
But I haven't seen them, and uh, they're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in. What is it?
Area 51?
Area 51. There's no underground facility unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the president of the United States.
What was the first question you wanted answered when you became president?
Uh, where are the aliens?
Where are the aliens?
Now, I'm willing to bet that a big portion of this interview is facetious and joking, but I don't know. I want to believe aliens are real. I really do, but I don't think that we would be holding them in Area 51. Let's think about this for a minute, right? If you listen to Alex Jones talk about the Greada Treaty, which is a treaty that was signed between the humans and the Greys, and I'm not saying this is true, I'm just saying this is something Alex Jones talked about, and this is the gist of what he explained. So, the gist of it is the Greada Treaty was a treaty signed between the humans and the Greys that basically said we'll let you take a few people to study every once in a while, but don't be like overt about it, and we won't bother you. And we got something out of the deal. I forget what it was. It was a long time ago that I heard about this, and it's probably not true. It might be, but this is coming from me, and I want to believe that it's true. I mean, I've got a file on my phone on my notes app called Alien Shit. I also have one called Alex Jones Shit. I don't know if you've realized this yet, but I just like to classify things as whatever it is and then shit. So like Jeep shit. Actually, I think it might be Jeep trails. But let's see if I can pull up a let's see if I can pull up a brief idea of the Greada Treaty real quick. Okay, so the Greada Treaty is a conspiracy theory alleging that the U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower secretly signed a treaty in 1954 with extraterrestrial beings, the so called Greys, allowing limited human abductions in exchange for advanced technology. According to the theory, the agreement was made at Edwards Air Force Base following a reported disappearance of Eisenhower in February 1954, which was officially attributed to a dental emergency. Okay, so that's the general gist of the Greada Treaty. I couldn't remember what we got out of the deal, but that was the gist. Is we get advanced technology. You can have a couple every now and then. butts to study whatever you guys are into, you kinky little fucks, and we'll be friends. We'll be friends. That's all there. That's all that will be. My stuff is. I had to adjust things. I had to switch stuff around because I was watching a movie, and so my whole thing is out of adjustment. Everything's out of place now. But yeah, so that's the general gist. Is yeah, you can abduct some people, but we want some technology. We can be friends, and we'll work this thing out. I don't necessarily believe that, but let's just say, for argument's sake, that's true. If the Greada Treaty were true, why would we have aliens captive in Area 51? It doesn't make sense. We don't sign treaties to do business with countries and then keep their people captive in secret bases. That doesn't make sense. Why would we do it with aliens? It doesn't make much sense, does it? No. I find it hard to believe anything anymore. I find it hard to trust anything. And honestly, if you went to the average person and were like, hey, did you know aliens are real? I think most people would just be like, okay, I guess. I think most people would be like, sure, whatever you want. What are you trying to sell me? At this point, I feel like most people would be like, what do you want from me? How much money do you? How much money for you to go away? I feel like is the sentiment most people would have at this point. What are you begging? What do you want? What do you want? They're real. They're real. The Greys are real. Yeah, probably. I mean, listen, I've been driving truck for 7 or so years now, and I did a lot of driving at night. I worked midnights for quite a while, and I did relatively early shift for quite a while, and I still do relatively early shifts. And from time to time, I will see something anomalous in the sky that I can't explain. Now, I'm not a rocket surgeon, I'm no cosmetologist, so I don't know what that is. But is it possible that it's something? Yeah, sure it is, of course. One time, there was an arrangement of three lights in kind of a triangular shape. This way, though. They were kind of like that ish. And I drove from Akron, Ohio to Mansfield, Ohio. And those lights maintained, and they were way up in the sky in the upper left hand corner of my upper left hand corner of my windshield. Those lights stayed there. Now, Akron to Mansfield is an hour and change, maybe a little bit more. So Akron to Mansfield, and it stayed in that corner, whatever it was. It was visible to me for about 2/3 of the trip. I noticed it in Akron. I don't know if it was noticeable. And when I was in Akron, I thought, well, it's just construction lights. And then I got out of Akron and I got out of the construction, and I noticed the lights were still there. And so I'm like, okay, well, those aren't construction lights. What the hell is that? And I was just kind of like, I don't know. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't change what that is. I asked one of the other drivers that was with me. I was like, hey, do you see these weird lights? And he was like, yeah, I see them. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, all right, cool. I guess we'll just send it. And I kept keeping an eye on it, and it didn't move. I have seen lights shining in the sky and then gone, disappeared. I've seen a light sitting still and then it just zoop, and gone. It didn't make the noise, but I added the noise for dramatic effect. But yeah, I've seen a light. It looks like a star. It's just hanging out. I'm like, man, that star is really bright, and then it just zips off and gone. I don't know what that is. Is it a UFO? To me, yeah, of course it's a UFO. I don't know what that shit is. Is it a UFO to you? No, probably not. You probably know what it is because you're probably not an idiot like I am. However, I've seen weird things. And some of it, sure, maybe it was just a shooting star. It was just a shooting star streaking across the sky. Yeah, probably. Probably something explainable. Them three lights were the ones that really, it was the one that really got me. And I'm like, what is that? Because I couldn't come up with a natural explanation. I'm the kind of person that I want to believe in things. But if I can't come up with a reasonable explanation for what it is, then I'll start to believe that it might be that thing. So if I see, for example, I'll give you an example. If I'm in the woods and I hear a large bang, well, logically, I'm in the woods. I find it less likely to believe that there's a cryptid that like throws exploding balls at people or something. I find it less likely to believe that it's that cryptid over, I don't know, somebody hunting or somebody shooting a gun because we're in the woods, or somebody working on something nearby, or a four-wheeler backfiring, or something reasonable. So I'm not going to sit there and say, oh no, that's clearly the cryptid that throws exploding balls at people. I'm going to say, oh, that was probably a four-wheeler or a dirt bike or a car backfiring, or it was somebody out here shooting, or whatever. It was somebody firing off a warning shot. And now, myself, I hear a bang and I immediately do an assessment. And I'm like, okay, where'd that come from? Did I hear a bang and a snap or a bang and a crack to indicate a gunshot? I immediately assess it, and then I'm like, no, I didn't hear any of that, so it must have been a bike backfiring or something. And I go on with my day. I assess that I'm not getting shot at, and I go on with my day. That's about it. But when Obama comes out and says, yeah, aliens are real, but we didn't keep them in Area 51, I'm like, well, that's an odd thing to say. That's an odd thing to say, especially if you do take into consideration the possibility that if Obama says, yes, aliens are real, there's a possibility the Gray Audit Treaty exists. And I'm not saying any of this does. I'm just saying these are things that I've heard about that maybe if one of these is true, the other is true as well. Assuming the Gray Audit Treaty is real, assuming the Gray Audit Treaty exists, and again, we're just assuming here, we're just playing spitball in here. Assuming all this is true, assuming all this exists, why is it unbelievable that we would not have them in Area 51? Why, like that just sounds so strange. Oh, they're not in Area 51. There's no secret bunker that we keep them in. Do you lock your friends in a secret bunker? Okay, I mean, let's be a little realistic here. You have a verbal agreement or a non-spoken agreement that you're not going to kidnap your friends, right? If we've signed an agreement with the Greys, maybe we have an agreement that we're not going to lock aliens in the fucking basement. Maybe. Maybe. Call me nuts here. Like, my point is, we have been lied to about everything from the Gulf of Tonkin all the way back to the attack on Pearl Harbor. We had foreknowledge and nobody said anything. We've been lied to all the time by our government. Somehow, a couple passports survived fire so hot that it could melt unmeltable steel. It just doesn't add up to me, okay? If the fire was that hot, those papers would have been incinerated immediately. And I was having this discussion with my brother. He said, well, maybe it was pressure that blew the passports out of the plane. I was like, the only way that's possible is if the passports were in the rear of the plane. And even then, it's highly improbable when you look at how a plane crash works. The back of the plane gets pushed into the fireball caused by the front of the plane. It's highly unlikely that those passports survived. And then you look at the falling of Tower 7 that people say, yeah, no, that's a controlled demolition. Demolitions experts come in and say, yeah, no, that's a controlled demolition. I mean, I got questions about 9/11. I have questions about the Gulf of Tonkin, where we got attacked and that's what brought us into Vietnam. I have questions about Pearl Harbor. I can't trust anything you've told me. I can't trust anything in the Epstein files now because Trump has fucking pussyfooted around. Pussyfeeted? What's the past tense of pussyfoot? He fucked around and he played all these stupid fucking games. Trump played dumb fucking games. Now I can't trust that the Epstein files are real because, Well, first of all, Trump had them in his first term. Biden had them in his term, and now Trump's had them in his second term. At any point along those, we'll call it 3 terms, those documents could have been edited. Trump said intently, no, these documents aren't real. This is all fake. This is all a farce. You're an idiot for buying it. I can't believe anything you say. I think that's where they want us, if I'm going to be honest. I think that's where they want it all. Everyone's sitting here saying, oh, well, Trump's actually the hero of the Epstein documents because Trump snitched on Epstein. Did he? Fucking did he? It's in the it's in the documents that Trump snitched on Epstein, but did he, or was that added by the intern? I don't know. Let's check the Epstein files and see if the fucking Greys visited Epstein, because it seems like everyone knew Epstein. So let's see if the Greys knew Epstein. Let's see if we can find some fucking some aliens that knew Epstein. And then there's some shit with this three-eye atlas thing. I guess it emitted a signal and it put the planet's interstellar defenses up or something like that. I don't fucking know. Let me see if I can find it. Fuck's sake. Wrong button. Let's see if I can pull this up here. I'll pull you guys up so you can see what I'm doing. Earth defenses activated. No, I can't spell defenses. Here it is. From the Diary 24, NASA quietly activates Earth shield for planetary defense. Globalized turn to December 29th's event. The concept of an Earth shield is something you find in a typical sci-fi film. The idea of a round dome shielding humanity as we drift through space is quite exciting when you think about it, but it is possible. NASA's on its move to build the world's first Earth shield, and it's set to be tested sooner than you think. How the fuck do you test an Earth shield? Earth, our home, orbits endlessly and precariously through space. As we know, it is not blank. It is a vast vacuum filled with countless planet-sized rocks and objects drifting aimlessly through space. Understanding these two analogies makes us ponder the question: how safe is Earth as it orbits space? Well, I mean, it's existed for a long fucking time. So, I mean, it's at least, 4,000 years old or something like that? I mean, at least. And I mean, if you're going with the Bible is absolute and these dates are absolute, it's like, 4,000 or 5,000 years old. If you're going with historically, it's, millions of years old? So, I mean, yeah, and just to touch on that real quick, I'm not saying that one's right, one's wrong. I'm more inclined to believe that the timeline in the Bible was not literal. It was a day to them, but what was a day was possibly months or years or tens of years to us now. Because when you look at Moses, who lived to be 800 years old or whatever it was, yeah, maybe he was actually 80 and they did years different. Or maybe he legitimately lived to be 800 years old in what we conceive of as 800 years. I don't know. I don't know how to take that literally. So when we say the Earth is, I don't know, 4 billion years old or whatever it is, that's in our reference. It's not saying in the Old Testament, time may have been referenced. 1 year might have been, 300 of our years. I don't know. I wasn't there. Can't tell you. But yeah, so how safe is Earth and its orbit? Probably pretty safe. It's been orbiting for a while. But yeah, so I mean, this thing goes on about this planetary defense thing. The Planetary Defense Coordination Office first discovered the celestial comet on June 1st. Upon initiation observation, the comet was said to be the size of Manhattan. It was seen to display alien tech and exhibit many unusual behaviors that comets have never been seen to have. This led, I think it's NASA. I think that it's a typo there. This led NAS to add itself to add to its list of the International Asteroid Warning Network. Is that all it has? What is this? What is the? What is? This Earth Shield. What is it? I want to know what the thing is. Oh. This Earth Defense System. How do we... How does it protect the planet? It says Earth's defense system primarily refers to planetary defense. Excuse me. A coordinated effort to monitor and protect Earth from potential impacts by near-Earth objects, such as asteroids, comets. How does it work? How does it work? Defense satellites, planetary shields, and phaser blasters. Yeah, that's all fucking fake. All right, I think it's all bullshit because I don't think Earth has a defense system. I'll be honest with you. I just find that hard to believe. I think that part of the story might be fucking bullshit. Just saying. Just putting it out there. But, yeah, I do think aliens exist. I definitely think there's something. I mean, I got a list of things just in my notes. What's that here? So, I mean, this will make no sense to you, but this is just the list of things, and it's probably really hard to read. This is just the list of things that I have. As some of these I've looked into, some of these I haven't. The Skinwalker Ranch thing's in there just because it was like kind of connected. It was like Skinwalker. I don't know what to make of Skinwalker Ranch. I'm going to be honest about that. But like, there's things like Nevis Air Force Base. That's just a reminder for me of what the Air Force Base that Area 51 is attached to is called. Barney Hill and Travis Walter were people that were abducted or something like that. I don't remember. There's the Miracle of Thamada, which was a huge gathering of people to see this natural phenomenon, I guess, and people thought it was aliens, but it might have been. The 1975 Northern Tier case is when a bunch of UFOs appeared over nuclear launch sites during the Cold War and shut down the nuclear launch sites. We weren't able to do anything with them between the border of the US and Canada. And then there's just some other stuff in there that's just stuff that I want to look up and read. Like Project Blue Book. I want to do more research on Project Blue Book. But yeah, it's just man, there's a lot of stuff that points to this is probably legit. And there's not a lot of stuff that's yeah, no, aliens aren't real. I've seen some weird shit. Obama said, of course they're real. I mean, it's looking like aliens are real, I guess. I don't know. And the rich people are just going to keep getting richer and being creepy perverts and doing weird shit to little kids, and we're going to keep arguing with ourselves, and there's nothing we can do about it. So, I don't know, get your fucking refried beans ready and get your fucking rice ready, because we're all going to be sitting in the fucking woods while the aliens fucking destroy civilization, and we're just going to be sitting there eating our fucking beans and rice damn, guess they were real. And the pedos, they'll be happy on their pedo islands with their fucking pedo alien-proof bomb shelters. I don't know what they'll do for little kids because, I mean, they're going to grow up eventually. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm feeling real hopeless after... I'm feeling real, what's the point after all this stuff with the Epstein list, It's just do I even want to make money so that they can tax more money out of me so that they can fucking have their satanic blood worship rituals? Or do I just want to, nah, and just peace out and just like go live in a van down by the river. Because honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards living in a van down by the river. I don't know, man. I don't know. Dirt Lifestyle's building a pretty sweet 4-wheel drive van, and it's got me wanting to build a 4-wheel drive van really, really bad. Now, he's going overkill with it because, I mean, he passed due for YouTube and stuff, but like, man, how cool would like an E350 on like 1 tons and like 35s, maybe 37s, and you just like go like live in a van? It'd be pretty rad, I guess. I don't know. It just like the problem would be like fuel. How do you put fuel in it? You see all these van life hippies that don't have a job, and it's like, how do you get gas money? Like, what are you doing for gas? Because it's like $50 to fill up my Jeep. Now make that a van with a 35-gallon tank that gets 6 feet to the gallon, and like, how do you put gas in that? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, must be nice to be rich. I don't know. I'll probably never know. That's all I got, though. I guess we figure it out or we die. I don't know. That's it. See y'all next time. Bye, Z's. Oh, also, before I go here, I wanted to do a thing. It might be a multi-part thing, just making fun of the Communist Manifesto. I think I'm going to read through it and just make fun of it one day, like when there's nothing to talk about. So, like, you know, make sure you're tuning in for that, because that might happen. Also, I'm a terrible reader, though, so I just might not do it. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. See y'all in the next